familiar with some application like Facebook and WhatsApp. So I need you guys to like tell me the kind of actions you carry on those applications so we can group them. This is CRUD operation. Let me just break it down for you. CRUD is creates. Goodness, you help me take note of people that are raising their hand, not participating in this. So
Okay.
creates, then arrow is for read, and this is updates, and this is for deletes. Yep. So now you guys can start telling me what you do on Facebook and WhatsApp. So we need to make it practical so we understand what we are doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ademoye is raising his
Yes,
hand.
Adonia.
Okay.
I am
Sorry,
on,
Adonia.
on an app.
Yes.
Create. For instance, if you're using an app like Facebook,
Yeah.
when you create a post, when a user that is a registered user that has an account on Facebook,
Mhm.
when you create a post, you make a post, you've created a post, that is C. Then,
Okay.
for instance, you have your Facebook followers or people that are connected to you, your friends, they read that your post, that is read.
Mm-hmm.
Then, for instance, you write a post and you made a typographical error and you want to edit the post. That is what we call, that's the U for update. For instance, you made a post and your lecturer say, delete that post, delete that post, delete that post. You now go and delete the post. That is what is delete. That's CRUD.
Okay, this is using Facebook. Who else wants to try? Thank you very much. Who just gave that?
Adonia.
Yeah, Adonia. Thank you very much. Thank you. Who else wants to try? So don't be shy. That thing that is in your head, take up the mic and say it, because testing you have to like say a lot. You have to say your opinion, whether good or bad. Yeah. So who else? Goodness, any other person?
Yes, Charles wants to say something.
Okay, Charles.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We could also use CRUD on platforms such as a content management system. If you have a content management system, maybe it's a blog, for example, and you are the administrator of the blog. Let's say, like for example, an landing page blog, for example, and you create blog or maybe an e-commerce store, or you are the owner of the platform. Either you are the developer or you are the administrator of the platform. You can also use CRUD operations. So let me say, for example, for the CMS now, for the content management system, you can create a blog, for example, which is paid. Now, whoever is coming to the platform, maybe to read maybe a gossip news or whatever, it's actually reading. Then, like the former speaker spoke, talked about if you actually made a mistake, maybe a typo, for example, under your blog, or maybe the information happened to change. Let's say, for example, like those who watch the football matches today, maybe you already predicted that okay, maybe Barca was going to beat Inter Milan on your maybe sports blog, and then well, it didn't go the way you analyzed. You felt like okay, let me maybe either make a comment on it or maybe change one or two stuff. You can actually update that blog, that content, or whenever maybe you don't feel like it was actually necessary, you want to delete it. That's why for the CMS. If an e-commerce store, for example, maybe you're uploading products, for example. Now maybe you upload maybe for e-commerce store, maybe for gadgets. You uploaded maybe a laptop post, a laptop product. That is, you're creating a product. Now those coming for the platform still can come read the platform. Maybe you want to change the price of that particular product, or maybe it has been bought. Now it's no longer in stock, or the quantity has been reduced. You want to update that particular product from your database. You're updating. For example, you don't need it again. Maybe you're switching from gadget to maybe foodstuff. You want to delete some of the products there. You can delete it. So basically, it works on all platforms.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a female speak, please?
At the moment, nobody is raising their hand.
Nobody's raising their hand. Okay. So these are CRUD operations that every application, most applications use. So now, where testing comes in, we are going to be using we are going to know the methods that APIs use. So now I'm going to, aside from the people who have spoken, please, if you are familiar with API methods, let me see your reactions. Okay. Only one person. Only Daniel raised his hand. Okay. Okay. If you have opinion. So now I'm going to list the kinds of method we have. We have the get method. Yeah, we have posts. We have posts, we have puts and parts. These guys are related somehow, but they are not the same. And we have the deletes. So now we had two examples, which is someone said on Facebook we were able to create a post, read a post, edit a post, delete a post. And also on someone gave us example from LinkedIn, the same thing. So now I'm going to group them and say, or I'm going to explain to you. You see these methods. If you want to read a post, the method that is bringing it out for you to be able to read is a get method. So for read, we are going to be using, if you want to read an application, we are going to be using get read. Now, if you want to post, you are creating a content. So the method we are going to be using here is create. It's create. Now, if you want to update, we are going to be using, or if you want to edit a post, we are going to be using, sorry, if you want to update a post, we are going to be using put or parts. Now, delete is delete. Delete is delete. So how does this work? How do we put all this in place? This is where we are going to go into Postman. So apply this. So this is a method that you use, get and you read, post, you post. Now this puts and parts. Let me explain the differences for you now. So for puts, when you're editing a puts, you have to upload the entire required field for you to edit that field. While for parts, it's just you can just update just a particular field you want. For example, sorry, I might be going higher level what I'm saying, but don't worry, we'll still come back and we'll put all this in practice. But just pay attention with what I'm saying. So for puts, say you want to update somebody's bio data that carries name, let me see, let me pick a name Esther, date of birth is May 5 or May 1, and address Ikoi, and sex female. So if they give you this method to update this record and you want to update this record, you want to change this this date of birth to, let's say, May 2nd. With put, you have to fill this whole thing again. You have to fill her name, Esther, then come to the date you want to, the date of birth you want to change, May 2nd, address, you still have to fill it again. You might not really need to change, you are not changing the whole field, but because you want to change this May 2nd, you have to fill this whole form again and send a request. Why for parts? Parts is the opposite of this. So if you want to change it to May 3rd, what you need to do is just come here and put May 3rd. Method. So I hope I'm not confusing anybody. Are we clear on this? Okay, Abigail.
Okay, I just want
Yes.
to ask a question, probably to get clarity.
Okay.
At times when you're trying to fill some Google form, I think probably is it Microsoft Forms. At times, if you exit the browser, maybe by mistakenly, probably you press home or you press back or something. By the time you click on the link again to probably to refill the form, you find out that there are some forms. All what you've already put in might have this probably cleared out. Why there are some forms, what you've put in are still there. You just continue from where you stop. So I want to ask: does this kind of applies to what you're trying to explain?
Okay, so what I just explained is on API. What you're experiencing is on UI. It's something that is happening on the DOM. So when you click home, you've automatically refreshed that page. So going back there again to fill that form that you've not submitted before is you've still not made any call, any API call. It's still on the UI. So there's some UI whereby they are required to like save those information. That's why sometimes when you come back, you see some information are there. Sometimes when you come back, you see it's a fresh record because when you went back home, you've reloaded that page, so you've cleared the data that is there. And sometimes too, your browser cache is just keeping it for you. Are you clear?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
So if you have sent that request, that's when API now starts talking. But for this one, it's just on the UI. Any other question? Okay. If there's no question, we're going straight to API. Now, I'm going to my Postman. Please let me know if you can see my screen still.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay, so I think I'm moving too fast. Before I proceed, let me show you the guide that we are going to be using for testing. I can drop the link for you. I'll drop the link on the chat. So we're going to be using simple to rent our API. This is for us to rent A2. So on the API, we have this. This is the base URL. This guy. So there are times that some document comes in just plain HTML and it gives the instruction of what to do. There are sometimes it comes in Swagger documentation. Swagger is a more advanced level of HTML presentation of your API where you can actually also test on those stuff, but it's not meant for automation. It's for you to understand what each endpoints are doing. So this is the base URL. If you open this guy here, is sometimes it will not even show you anything. It's just saying this is where I'm hosting this application. This one is even kind enough to say welcome to this simple blah blah blah. Some will not even show you anything, but it will be there. It's just like say Facebook. Say we have facebook.com now. Facebook.com. This is your base URL. Now, when you want to go to your home, you can see something like /home. Means that you are going to see everything on Facebook home. True or false? Are we together, guys?
True. Yeah, they're giving
True. Yeah. So if you go to /about, it means that on Facebook you are going to. Is there anything on I don't know. Let's say profile on Facebook. On this page, the only thing you are going to be seeing here is profile of Facebook. So that is how UI work, and it's also applicable to API. So back to this document again. This is your base URL, and now this first endpoint is get method, and this is the endpoint here, status /status. What this does is just to check that this application is working fine. So we're going to start with this guy to work with it. But first, let me drop this link for you guys on the chat. On your own time, you can play with it. Okay. So back to Postman. For those of you that don't know what Postman is a tool that is used for API testing. Yeah, it makes testing easier, because normally for you to automate, you're actually writing a script, like complete JavaScript. But these tools gives you an interface whereby you'll be able to like see where you are putting your base URL, where you're writing your test and all. Without these tools, it will be difficult for a lot of automation API testers to function in your job. So thanks for Postman. And for you to be able to use Postman, is not, it's an open source tool. Just go to your browser and type Postman and download it. Tada, yeah, good to go. So for us to start now, I'm going to create a new collection. So this new collection is a HTTP request, because this test we're doing on this API is HTTP. They have different types. They have WebSockets. They have other type. As we no, sorry, it's a collection it's a HTTP request I'm going to create. So from there, we'll proceed. Yeah. No, sorry. It's a collection. So a collection carries requests of HTTPs. So I'm going to create a collection. This is a new collection. So I'm going to rename this guy and API testing. So I'm going to name this guy. Don't mind what you're seeing here. These are previously tests I used before, so that's fine. So I'm going to create a request now. I'm adding a request. So a request is what you send typically to your application that carries the method. So this is gets. These are the kind of these are the type of method you have. On your own, you can go and study what head and option is. I'm going to touch these ones. So first thing we are going to enter here is the base URL. What is the base URL? The base URL is this guy. I should see. And that's Postman. So you have to do it manually like this so you guys forget. So what do you want to test for? We're going to go and get the other endpoints, which is this guy. How was that? Okay. Which is this guy, status. You can see it. I've even copied it in full. So let me just copy it and come here and post it. Yeah, so I'm going to run it now. So you can see that the response we're getting here is 200, okay, and the status is up. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you guys together? Let me confirm.
We are together, but we are not understanding.
You're not understanding. I'm going to
Yes,
take it
sir.
again.
Thank you.
I'm going to start again, like API testing. I'm going to delete this guy.
Okay, but can you guys open your laptop?
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, like, is this like the same thing you do when you use because this looks somehow similar to Python also, where you
No.
input and run.
No, this JavaScript, but this is just a framework where you just like you can see this is an application interface, a UI. You just come here, select the method you want. It's already there for you. Now you put the URL here with the endpoint, which is status. Now you click send. You clicking send means that you are sending the request. So once you click on send, it's going to go and return a response for you. The response is status, and status is up, and response is 200. Okay. You know, on Python, you have to like write your scripts, blah blah blah, then you run it, then you get on your terminal. Yeah, so it's not Python, this is Postman. For people that don't understand, should I start again? Or
Please
this is
start
fine?
afresh again, please.
Yes, please. Thank you.
But you first, do you guys understand what this document is saying? This document, do you understand what it's saying?
No,
No,
I don't.
we don't understand the document.
Okay. Now, there is an application that is under test that is to be built or that has been built. So it's now left for the testers to test. What you need is what the developer gives to you. So now let's imagine our developer has given us the API documentation for tools rental for us to be able to rent a tool. This is the document. And here we have different endpoints. The first one here is check API status with the method get. This is the endpoint status. The base URL is this guy. Like I explained to you, facebook.com, right? Now for you to see your profile, you have to be facebook.com/profile. But for you to check status now, it's think this base URL guy. This your base URL is where the application is hosted on. Now, so for you to check status is this base URL guy again, /status. This is the first guy. Now, for you to be able to get all the tools that is available, you want to see all the tools that is available. This is the second endpoint with get. Base URL the same. And now the endpoint is tool. And I will explain this other guy to you later as we move forward. Tools. And the next one is get orders. So do you understand? I'm just trying to give you an overview of what this document is saying before we now go back to Postman and start doing it. Are you guys clear on this document?
Yes. It's clear
Yeah.
enough.
It's clear now. Okay.
Sorry, please, what is the relation of these documents to the postmaster?
With the Postman.
Yeah, the postman, sorry.
So for you to test in any organization, the developer develops and gives you the documents that you will use to go and test in your Postman. Is you the tester that is coming up with this Postman test? So sometimes some comes in this format. This is Postman documents. Some they use Swagger documents to like document the whole thing for you to say, this is where I want to be able to do this. Some come in just plain HTML. You just have to read through and follow up. Say this is just for tools rental. Now you have a application that has been developed. Let's say you want to be able to, I'm looking for a very simple application now. Okay, you want to be able to you're building an e-commerce application whereby you can get your carts and then you book your cart, then make your orders and get your delivery done. What the developers finish develop is going to give you a document that says, oh, for you to be able to make your order, this is it. Maybe ShopRite will be the base URL, and it will now give you another one order. This order that is giving you is where you are going to make your order from. So when you see these documents, it's where you now start picking those things and you start testing, because those endpoints is what the UI is going to consume, but you have to first ascertain that the APIs are fine. Is that clear? Or is that level?
Okay.
So who is going to give us these documents?
Is your developer that will give you the documents?
The developer will give us these documents.
Yes, it's not. This document is saying that I'm done with what they've asked me to do. Tester, or yeah, proceed in testing.
Proceed. Okay. So these documents then will now go to Postman.
Yes, you now go to Postman and you start testing.
Okay.
Any other question on these documents? Hope you guys are clear. Because this is where it starts from. If you don't understand these documents, you can't test.
Please, this class, you will have like 2 classes on this.
Okay.
And sorry, please, sir, is it only on Postman that you can conduct the testing?
No, but Postman is the most used tool for API documents. If you can write JavaScript by yourself, you can proceed in using JavaScript.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Hello, yes, thank you. So does it mean that it's every time before we do any testing, we have to first run the API? Is that what it means?
Can you break your question down again?
Does it mean that for every time we're going to run a test, they will have to first give us the API to test on before we do any other testing, right?
So normally, standardly, yeah, they're supposed to give you the documents where you go and pick these things and test. You're not testing these documents. They are just giving you that these are the things you are going to use to test. So you are picking those endpoints from there, and you are going to Postman and you are going to test from there. But some developers might not give you these things. They might just do it on their own Postman to locally and give it to you. But standardly, they are supposed to give you a document like this or a Swagger documentation. Let me see if I can see any sample of Swagger documents. Okay, so this is what Swagger document looks like this form. Yeah, at least an image, but normally when they give you that link, when you click it, you'll be able to perform those tests on it. So there's a base URL for this guy. I don't have the base URL, but for this endpoint, for you to test this return application form for a given home address, it has to be /form. But let's not go details. Let me not confuse you with this guy. Back to where we are.
So please, before you continue, sorry, I'm just trying to streamline my brain. My brain is everywhere right now. So first of all, we've learned test cases, test plan. So that test plan, test case, then now for the real work is this thing you are teaching us right now. As in to start
Everything you've been learning is for the real work. This
No,
is
no, I
just
understand.
another side of the
Like
work. This
to do
is
the
for
okay,
API.
okay,
If you are in a place that they test API, this is part of it. If you are
okay,
in a place that they don't test API, you can still use those test cases, test plan to proceed.
okay.
Even as at that, with this one, you still need to write your test cases and test plan for
Okay,
this same thing you are doing.
okay, 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 okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Abigail,
Hello,
you have
sir.
the floor. Yes. Okay.
Do you write test plan for API testing too?
Yes, you do.
Or is it the same way we're taught how to write it? That we
The
write.
same way you were taught how to write is the same way you will write for this guy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Abigail.
Okay, I don't know. Probably for I don't know for me to have a better understanding of what's happening. Can we like use an example of maybe something? I don't know if you have maybe a site you could test the API, like an example, a practical class, so that everybody can follow. I don't know.
Well, that's why we have this guy here and we want to go to Postman to continue. But you guys said they are confused. So I'm trying to make sure you guys understand before we proceed.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question? Kingsley. Yeah.
Yeah, please, I wanted to ask the same question that Blessing just asked, but the second one is that can you please zoom in your screen so that it can be seen very well? It's kind of blown right here. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Before I go back to Postman, I'll confirm if you guys can see my screen. All right. So okay. Who else?
Okay, I
Esther.
think they should zoom in their own screen. Kingsley, zoom in
Okay.
your screen.
Okay.
Okay, sir, please. I don't know. I noticed you're opening a lot of there's REST API, Swagger documentation, simple. What are they?
Oh, just ignore this guy. Let me not confuse you. So,
Okay, because I wanted to ask, are they also under the API testing? Like,
so just before you start API testing, there's a document that they will give to you where you get the
oh,
endpoints and the URL. So I'm using
okay,
this document. Yeah. So let's just this is the document.
that's
Okay.
the Postman.
No, this is the document where you use to go and test on Postman.
Sorry, which one is the document again?
This thing they are seeing here is simple rental API documentation.
Okay, the simple to rental. Okay.
Yes.
Hello, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So now, what if we are working on a project that there's going to be a need for the API to be tested? For instance, the project in between the project, there's an API that have been set for the project to run the project, right? And usually we are having issues with the project, for instance, and we're trying to run our test case and test plan and everything. Does it mean that we have to always ensure that the API is tested with or without the developer sending to us? We can demand for it and test it before we do any other testing.
You have to
Did you
wait
get
for
my
the
question?
you have to wait for your developer to tell you that it's ready because if they give you the base URL and you start testing everything that is there, sometimes they might not be ready. You might just be testing and you come back again and retest. So you have to wait for the go ahead.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. But that means for every testing, maybe 60% of the time API will have to be tested. Is that it?
So let me show you. I will explain something to you. The UI is a standalone application. The API is also a standalone application. They work hand in hand. You get so you have to test your API 100%, test your UI 100%. Are you lost?
Go ahead, sir. I'm listening to you, sir.
Yes, so you have to test them 100%, 100%. Yeah. Most times, if you test your API 100%, your UI will not be much work. Yeah. KD, we've not started the API
Okay,
test. I'm getting so much questions.
are
Okay.
there are there some UI that do not have API? And do you also need Postman to test for just basic UI?
Okay. We have static application and dynamic applications. So for static applications is your normal website where you click home, about, contact us. That's a static website. They don't have API connection. Everything there is just JavaScript and HTML, CSS. Now, the moment you start interacting with database, you have to create accounts, you have to log in, you have an API. So yes, you have to test it. Let me do a diagram for you guys.
All right, all right.
So it will be clear for you. It's like some of you are beginning to think if testing is for you or not. Well, just calm down. You're going to understand and you're going to have hand of it. I think I might be the one overloading you. So just calm down. Testing is for all of us. So yeah, it's just for you to get the understanding. So for us to start now, I'm going to this is your don't mind my journey. Yes. This is your UI. This is what you see on your browser when you click. UI is user interface, what you are seeing. Now, for the one that you are not seeing, this is it. This is your API. Now, there's a lot of work API. What's the work? There's a database and also this is your database. So now, what is the relationship between your UI, your API, and your database? This is a complete application. These are an application supposed to work. This is what you see. This is the guy doing all the work that you are doing. So this guy sends a request to this guy. I don't like this guy. This guy sends a request to this guy. So requests. When he sends a request to this guy gives it back a response that you are seeing. Our time is almost up. We've not started testing. You sure this class will last for 1 hour? Goodness.
Boss, I think you have extra 1 hour.
Okay. So now, when you log in or when you create an account to this guy, from this guy, this is what you are seeing on your front end. This guy sends this request to your API. Your API is what validates what you sent and manipulates your data. This guy also manipulates your data. It validates the request you send, validates it, and it gives you back a response on the UI. This is where this guy will now say, oh, this thing you've said, this account you've created, your account created successfully. It will pick it and send it back to this guy, and your account will be created successfully. This is what your API is doing. Now there's also a relationship between your API and your database. This is where it goes and fetch your records. It goes and updates your records. So a lot is going on inside this guy. Lots. So I'm trying to draw that mechanic rather than this thing. I'm not an engineer, but manage this science with me. So it does all this API is doing a lot of manipulation for you, and there's a relationship here. It goes whatever manipulation is doing here is going to send it to the database, and it's also going to fetch it back for you again and still send it back to your UI. So do you guys understand the relationship now? Before we now start off testing API. Hello guys. Okay. So can I proceed?
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, so can we say the API is like the main core, I don't know, like
yes, it's the main cocoa, is the messenger.
Yeah, that's what I want to use between the UI and the database. The API
UI is
like
just for shakara
everything.
so that people can see
Okay.
it. It's just for you to
Okay.
see something.
So it's not
anything.
like doing anything exactly. So
It's
the API is the one doing everything.
Yes, the UI is just
Okay.
it's just color and text.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, are you trying to
Thank
say the UI is the front end, while the API is the
Backend. Yes.
back end?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. James.
So can we say that if we have tested the API successfully, we can at least to an extent say that the database integrity is maintained or correct? But the
Yes.
database,
Yes.
means
If you
in
test
part,
it perfectly, but you still need to go back to your database to check what is happening. We'll come back to talk about that once we are done with API.
that's fine.
Okay. Any other question? Oh, well, you don't need JavaScript you don't need core JavaScript in testing. What you need is small ones, the one that will not slap you. Olivia. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Still never finished. Okay. Only more class. So yeah. Can we now proceed to testing?
Yes.
Okay. So now this first endpoint, this status, what is actually doing is to check that the application is up and running. That's what this status is doing. So there are times whereby you make requests on front end and you get error 500. Let me see your reaction if you've ever seen that response before. Thumbs up, please. Good. So that error 500 is saying that that server or that system is not available at the moment. That's what it's saying.
I see 404. Is it 44? Yeah.
404 is not found. You've entered a endpoint that is not available. 404 not found.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So now before we start testing, we want to ensure that this endpoint, this API is working perfectly. So back to Postman again. So I'm going to delete this API testing and start at first. So you guys should pay attention. I think you guys are beginning to understand where we are going and where we are coming from.
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to create new. I'm going to create a collection. So a collection carries multiple HTTP requests. If I create just HTTP requests, it's just going to be one, but because I'm going to be creating a lot under this API testing for tool rental, so I'm going to create a collection. So I'm going to rename this guy, to API testing. Tool rental. I have a tool rental there before, so yeah, tool rental. Now I'm going to create a HTTP request. I've created it, this guy that you are seeing here. And I want to rename it to what we want to test here is want to test for status. So is get status want to test for. Yeah. So like I explained to you guys again, I'm going to explain it again. So yeah, and of it. This document, this is your base URL. Your base URL is like the house that is holding this thing, like an hotel room, a hotel. That's your base URL. Now to find status, room 101, you now put / Eco Hotel status. Do you understand? This Eco Hotel /001, that's where you are going to find status. That is your base URL. I'm trying to make it.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. So you are saying that whatever we were looking for, we just add / to the base URL.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
If somebody's in a cool hotel now, say come and find me a cool hotel, you go to a cool hotel in 305, you go to 305, that's where you find the person. That's what this endpoint is doing. So this one, the base URL / status is where you are going to get or know the status of the application. So I'm going to copy this guy. If you look at the prefix here, it's the same thing with this guy here. So I'll just copy the whole thing and come to Postman. I'm going to enter it here. Remember, we talked about method. The method that you are going to use to know if the status is up or not is get. That is why we have get here. Get. Are you with me? So now everything is correct. 100.
Yes.
I want to send a request now. I'm going to do send. Now we got a response down here, which is status up. Now the response we are getting here is 200. Okay, that is for this guy. If you are lost, let me see your hand up. Okay, I think
Hello, sir.
yes, boss.
So what if when we tested and it was not okay? What was it going to write?
So you are expecting to get okay, yeah. If it's not 200, if it's not 200, you shout. You go and tell the developer, hey, you've cooked this. So
okay, so like that's the actual result is supposed to be 200.
Yes.
The expected, the expected and the actual is supposed to be 200.
Yes. So let me now.
So
This wait,
when
hold on.
it's not 200, maybe a bug or something. Or a defect.
So yes, that's a defect. So now I just call this endpoint. So I'm going to add a test to it. There's no test to this thing. This is just me calling the endpoint to know if it's working or not. Now it's working. I want to start writing my test. So Postman has made it easier for us to be able to write tests. If you go to Postman, you come here. No, sorry, not this one. Where's that guy? Sorry. Can't see that on my. Okay, this is it here. Snippets. Why is it showing like this? Hold on. Okay, whichever way, just look for snippet on your stuff. So this snippet is just giving you most frequently used type of test that we add in our Postman test. So I want to use 200 because I'm expecting 200, and I'm going to press enter. So sorry, it's already there. So if I click on send now, if you notice here, we don't have any test results. So if I click send now, I'm having 1 of 1 because it was expecting to get 200 and it got 200. Are you with me?
Hi, Chijoke. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I honestly think adding test scripts will confuse them the more for now. So we move test scripts to the advanced class. So if we can mainly focus on just manual testing, which is just showing one or two, like how they can consume what's it called?
Yeah, no, I know what
Endpoints.
it's just this one I'm adding because don't worry. Just this one. Let me just download it and we'll continue with those other one.
Okay, please. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm expecting to get 200 and I got 200. That is for this one. Now just imagine that in my test I'm expecting to get a 400 and I got 200. When I click send, you see it is 0 of 1. It failed because I was expecting to get 400 but I got 200. So if this is what I was expecting to get and I got this is a bug. You have to escalate. But now I'm expecting to get a 200, which is what I'm getting. That's that. So let's go to the next one on our API documents. Back to so the next thing we want to get here is get all tools. Like I explained before, the base variable and this guy. So API add a request. So yeah, we want to get all tools. The name gets all tools. So this area and this guy. So I'm going to remove this other guy again and send. Now, these are all the tools here. I've already clicked on send, and these are all the available tools. We have plumbing, we have text clamp tools. Under plumbing, we have text clamp tools. We have category, and we have the name of the tool. And they all have an ID that you can use to call each of these tools that is available. We have category ladder, name is Costco Street, blah, blah, blah. So that for this. In stock, we have in stock, we have true, we have in stock true, we have in stock, we have false. So I think when I copied it, there was something at the back. So those things are called parameters. Let me paste it again. Yeah. So you can see on these parameters that we're having available true. So send. So the only thing coming out now is for the one that is true, that is available at the moment. The total, okay, you don't really use total. So that's for us getting all tools. Now the next one is I'm going to send a request to get single tools back to our all tools. I can't see that one here, but I'm going to add it for you guys. So add a new request first, and get single tool. So /. So when you come here, this is the ID for this guy. So if you want to get for a single tool, all you need is the ID. So you just copy this ID, copy, and you're going to add it to this address and send. So you see that it returned only this one because it's just the ID. We added this ID, so it's going to return only this one. The difference is this one return everything available on the stock, and this second one return only one. Because on the URL you are specifying on this guy. Yeah, so that's for single tools. So now we've done for get. So the next one we're going to enter is we're going to create our order. Yeah. Our order. I'm going to order a two. So add a new request. Please, if you are lost, your hand is up. You can just unmute and ask question because I'm not seeing ask one. Create order.
Okay.
Now,
After you press send, you're not pressing the test result. Is that the test result?
test results here.
Yes. After you press send, this
Yeah,
thing comes up. Then
yeah.
you're not pressing. You're not clicking on test results, or it's already there.
Oh, no, I didn't add test for this one. The test is empty. We have another class for that. But now let's just call those endpoints that have been given to us. So we just see that we're actually getting responses from the request we're making.
Okay.
Yeah. But you understand what happens here and here.
Yes, please.
Okay. So now we're going to create our own order. And Create autos, get all orders. So yeah, I'm going to create orders. Control C. This one has a body. The body is you're going to enter the tool name, customer name, and comment. So back to Postman. The method for this one is post, as you can see here. Post. Now I've copied this guy, which I'm going to use to create orders. Create orders. Now, if I send this guy, the same missing authorization header. (401). Who have come across this error before? 401. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not going to ask question. Let me just explain because time is not on our side. So 401 means that you need to log in to make that request. You need authorization to make that request. Like I said, the code there /305 the room. Before you enter, you need a key to enter. So I'm going to get that key. And where do we log in for? Where do we get that from? It's here. So this is generate access token. So let's go back again, create another request for us to be able to log in. So those of you that log in on application, it's not your email address and password that is logging you in. It is what is doing the check to generate the token for you to log in. So it's that token that has been generated that you need. So add request now. It's a post and yeah. Copy, post copy, then put it here. Post. Now, where do we enter our username and our password? You come to the body. Now, this type of body, when you want to enter a body, you are going to use raw and JSON. It's already on JSON here. So, what is the body saying? We should use. Yep. So, copy this guy. Client name is a JSON body. So, client's name, blah, blah, blah. I've copied that. Also going to place it. So far, I hope you guys notice that I'm not just entering anything on my own. I'm going to use what they've given to me to come and create what is here. There's nothing that's coming out from my head. Now I'm going to send. Now we have our access token. This is our access token. Yeah. The client name is Postman. I think you can change this email to any email. Is a valid format of email. So this is the access token, and I'm going to send it here. Yeah. So we got our access token. So I'm going to save this guy now. Now back to where we want to use it for. We are getting for this is your access token. This is what your email and phone name gives to you. So come to create order back. Let's create our order. Come to authorization, and we're going to use bearer token. Yeah. I'm going to change what is there. So what we have, what we just copy and save. So now I'm going to click send again. I think we should still get another error. Now you see that, before we were getting 401 unauthorized. Now it's saying error, invalid or missing tool ID. Why are we getting this? Because we are trying to create an order and I've not passed what I need to create order for. So back to this guy. So let's go to create orders. So for the create orders, this and this is what is required to create orders. So yeah. So body, remember, is a JSON body. I'm going to paste what is there. I just copy this guy. This customer name is random name. It can be any name. Customer address, random address, any address is a defined parameters. I think it's defined for Postman. Let's see. Yeah. So we've created our orders for that guy with two ID. So let's change this name again to Esther. You are going to use double parameters if it's a variable you are calling, but if it's just a normal name you want to call, just take it out. Let's use Esther. Now address, can use Koi. Yep. Yep. Something. Okay. Yes. Koi. Now for the tool ID, where they got this tool ID, remember we first did a call that gave us all the tool available. So say you want to make order for, let me look for,
Please, I have a question.
okay, hold on. Say you want to order a plumbing tools, PEX clamp tools. All you need is this ID, because this is the ID attached to it. Copy it. Now come to create orders. Now you just change the ID of this guy. Control G. Yep. And now I'm going to send him. So I got 201 because it was created. 201 is a response code for created. The response message is true, and the order ID, the ID of what I just ordered, is for this. So someone has a question.
Yeah, like I wanted to ask, when you are creating this order now, that place you change this thing now, the name, and you put Esther, and the other one now was content, like the address, and you said
Yes.
if the other one now is just a, can I say character, or yeah, just a name, you can put without any bracket in between it. But what if about the address now? Maybe the address have numbers with it. Will you have to put in between the bracket, or you just be just like that without any brackets?
Okay, so we'll still come back to what we're writing, what we're going to do our second section where we talk about variables and test cases inside our Postman. We'll talk about that. But no, you don't need it. Anytime you see this guy, brackets, let's say you see something like this, it means that this ECOE has been stored somewhere with a value inside of it. So it's just a variable, it's a variable name that has value for it. So we're not making use of it. That's why I removed it. So if you want to put number, you can put number and put number two, ECOE number two, and send. It will still go because it's a full address. Anytime you see a content inside a quote, it means it's a string. It's also seen this number two as a string, not an integer. Oh God, let me not. I don't want to start explaining those two things I just mentioned. So yes, you can pass these two things. and send. It will go again. You see, 201 created, and that's it. Are you with me, guys? Any other question before we proceed? Okay, 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 okay. Now the next one is let's rename this guy. This one is access token. Access token for this guy. So what means is we're going to get orders, all the orders we have. Add a new one. Yeah. Get orders and we want to send to get orders. So we still need to log in to get orders. So let's go back to access token, Vera token, access token, copy, change this guy, save. So these are all the available orders we have. This is you can see the one I created just now for Esther. This is the ID for the order, the two she ordered, customer name, quantity one, date it was created, date and time it was created, and the comment is this. So this is the second one. That is for us trying to get all the orders. Now I'm going to do another one. We're going to get a single order. Single order. So I'm going to copy this order ID. Copy and put here. Actually, yes. Still need authorization again to get that. We are token. Back to this guy. Copy our token again. Control V. And now I want to send. So you can see we have the order that we created for the one we created earlier. This is the only order we have now. So let me rename this. Rename. Yes. Order. That's that. So now we're going to go to the next one, which is update our order. We're going to update using parts. Probably we're going to change the comments or the customer name. So I can duplicate this guy, just update it. Duplicate. Name. Update order. Now I'm going to change the method. The method here is parts. Yep. Then so it's still the same. The endpoints are almost the same, but the method is different. Remember, to get single order, we had to use get. Now to update it now, we're just changing the stuff to parts. Now here we're going to pass a body. Yeah, so let's see what the body is here. Somebody said his brain is shaking. Updates parts. I don't have that one here. Okay, we'll have something else. So. Ctrl C, Rob, Jason, paste it. So remember, this guy before it was Esther and the comment was Ikoyi. Now I want to change it to this guy and pick up tomorrow. So save, let's update. 204, no content. Oh, I'm supposed to get. Yes, 204. But that message is not right, but that's what they give.
You didn't attach the ID. That maybe you didn't attach the ID.
Yeah,
so
the
some
ID
of them
is
have a specific.
It has been updated. This is the ID. So if you come back now and get single order, you see that it has before. You can see we have Esther here now, and Ikoyi now send. It has been changed to Joe, Mark, and pick up tomorrow morning. So that has been updated. I hope you guys are not lost. This is a random variable store, so I'm going to remove it also. So we'll talk about this later. Let's use normal. Let's use Joshua. Joshua. And send. Okay. After has been done, get single order. That same ID, which is there, and send. So you see, customer name has changed to Joshua. So that is for update orders. Now, are you guys tired? We have 2 more endpoints to go before we call it a day. Should we proceed or we should call it another day?
No, sir, we cannot proceed. So this part, it's sounding like how I don't know. I kind of understand. I don't know. I understand what you're doing, but at the same time, I'm lost.
I think all that is missing is for us to practice it. I think.
Yeah, I think you guys need to practice it. So
once we start pressing it, we'll have an idea of what we're doing, even though it sounds like confusion right now.
What I'm going to do is after this class, I'm going to still push it on maybe GitHub, so you guys can follow, or I'll just share the script on Postman. You'll run it on your own and see as working. So I think we should finish this class. The next one is to delete that orders that we make and check if the order that we make. Should we do that?
Please go ahead.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
Please, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. For the signs, the brackets, the other sign language of sign design. Okay. How do I know that we need to start pressing it, but how do we know the right, or would one know the right signs to put behind these different orders so that it can reflect as the API? You know, how do we know the right thing to do?
Which sign is it? This one you're talking about?
You sign the bracket, double bracket, the whatever. How do we know? Because
this one.
I got lost along the line because trying to.
Is it this one?
Hello?
Is it this sign you're talking about?
Yeah, design designs, yes, all those ones. Yeah, how do we
you see that I
get to
removed
know
it
the
from I intentionally removed it after I made that stuff. You don't need it for now. Maybe our next class we'll talk about it. For another class. That will be for another class. So you guys need to like practice with this thing before we move to the next class. Are you with me?
I may need to watch it again because I'm totally lost because I couldn't join again.
This call is recorded, so yeah, we get it. Any other
Okay.
question?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. James.
Yeah, so I think that if there's a particular documentation for syntax for this particular postman, it may help the class. You know, like when you want to learn a new language, for example, JavaScript, or there are
Oh,
documentation
there's no syntax. Everything I entered here is what is given to you here. Like I said, when we were creating that, we were trying to create order. I just came here and copied it. The syntax is there already. All you just need to do, this is for tool ID. You gotta look for the tool ID and you put the tool ID. Customer name. This customer name that is in double brackets is just saying a variable, but you can remove it. Next class I will explain what this double bracket is. Yeah. Any other contribution or question? Comments?
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah. So my question is, if this wasn't customer stuff, it's another project entirely. And I test the API. I'll try to run the API with it, and we're trying to address certain issues. Does that mean that this same style is the way we're going to address the issue? Maybe double brackets say, okay, this issue be addressed, or this should be worked on, this should be worked on. Is that how it's going to work, or is it going to vary?
The brackets is the problem now.
Yes, and also the syntax was given the whatever the signs were given right on the API. So, but when you want to address the issue on the API and you want to emphasize few things on the API, okay, so does it mean that we might need to learn how to do this partial coding, or how to do these things so that we'll be proficient in our delivery?
There's no coding in this thing. There is coding, but there's no coding because Postman is actually writing the code for you, which I will show you guys in our next class how he's writing those code for us. That's bracket that you are seeing. Just leave it for now. Just imagine that you didn't see it today. We're going to touch on it again on our next class. Yes, because we'll start going into it. That's going to like take time. So let us go back to the next one and delete others and check if the others are visible. But before we go, is there any other question or comments? All right.
I want to say that everybody should take it easy. It's normally because we are not practicing. By the time we get our hands dirty, it is simple because there's nothing we are adding. We are just copying what the software provider has given us the file, and we are just testing it. It's simple.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage
Yes,
everybody
exactly.
not to
Because
be
I'm
discouraged.
seeing the normal get order, create order. So we are not doing anything extra.
Yeah.
It's just to understand how to how to use them steps by step.
Yes, how
It's
to use the
because
postman. How to use the postman. Maybe that's where you will do a little bit of learning. But it's simple.
just when you are trying to do this, you just picture the UI, the front end application. You're doing it from the back. Like, how do I create an order? How do I get the order of what I have created for? That's just it. This is just like a normal e-commerce website where you select the items you want to buy. Then you go and get all the items you selected, and you pay for it. This is just the back end of it, and you can delete it. So just take it easy. I'm going to drop the file for goodness, and you guys can play with it after now. But before that, let's just do the other endpoint, which is delete.
Because I wanted to ask about the numbers, like the 200, 500, like what do you, is there like a, where we could read up about it to know that, okay,
Yes, you
this
can
number
check
that,
for API responses.
all right, all right.
Yes. API response code. Those are code.
Or HTTP status codes.
Yeah, HTTP status.
HTTP status code.
All right, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So back to next one. I'm going to create another one again, and I'm going to delete the others that we've created before. Add a new request, blah blah blah. See, yeah, paste it. And let's rename this guy. So let's call that. Change the method to the mix. Yeah. So I'm going to add our authorization again. They are taking access taking the create others. So as you can see, most of these things are just repetitive tasks. Just keep repeating it, but you should be paying attention to what is coming out. 204 no content. It has been deleted. So let's confirm that it has been deleted. Let's duplicate this guy. Kids. So this is the ID we deleted. So just send it again. No ID, no order with this ID. 404 not found. Ta-da! That is the end of our class. Any question, guys?
Please, can you do like a brief like recap on everything? Not that don't touch it like in depth, but just like a summary basically on the process.
All right. Okay. So remember, this is us trying to get the status to know if this application is up. Should in case I send this thing and you want to test, you run it and you get 500, just don't panic, just wait for a while to come back up. So 200, when you see 200, you can start posting. It means that that application is up. Now, this is where we get all tools. These are all the tools available for others. This website is like a plumber or mechanic supermarket where you can just go and order things, ladder, power tools, and all. And these are the IDs. These are all the items available. Now for us to be able to get single tool, we'll come here and get for single tools with the ID name. This is the ID of this guy who picks from here, and we're able to get it. Now this is the endpoint where we create orders. We create orders with the two ID that is available, customer name and comment. This is supposed to be comments, but just is comments. Then we are unable to make we were unable to create this order because we didn't have access token. That was why we came back here and create access token. And the access token is like when you log in, what give you permission to be able to like carry out some requests on the application. This is it. You copy it, you come back to create orders, you come to authorization, you come here, select bearer token, and you update the token here so that you're able to make that. And we're able to like create orders using that access token that was created here. And after that, what we did, we tried to get all the orders that has been made on that platform. These are all the orders on that platform. And we now went ahead to get for a single, this is all the orders. So this was the one we created. We copied the ID here and we came here to get single order. So you can see the URL carries the ID from the one we created earlier. This is it. You can see confirm from here that, okay, this was the second one. You can, when you create, you can still pick the order ID from here. This is another ID. So here, get single ID with the ID that was created before that. But now we came back and say we want to update our orders, change the customer name and change the comment to pick up tomorrow morning, which was updated. Then the next thing we did was we deleted the order. The order was deleted successfully. We got 204. And after that, we came back here to confirm that our order has been deleted successfully. We got no order with ID, that particular ID. Let me rename this guy. So that when you guys are playing with it, then I'll start with each of them. Every one of them is done. Check. Yup. So that is that for API testing for today. So is there any other question, contribution? No.
I'd like to say something.
Okay.
Okay, your brief summary just gave me a little idea. I have a little understanding about it. So that does that mean the moment you set the ID, you pasted the ID, and you've fixed what you want it to be, maybe receive order tomorrow or receive order so time, right? And it shows 2-4 means successful, right?
Yes.
Now deleting the order, would it be immediately or after it has been achieved, or when you delete the order, is still going to deliver to the person as which you've set it already?
And that's why we have this last one.
Is deleting instant or
instant? So after deleting it, this order, you came here to check if that ID still exists. This is the ID. You see no order with ID. No order. You can't find it. That's why you got 404.
Okay, so is it that that means deleting it cannot be instant? It shouldn't be instant, right?
It's instant now. Once you send a request and it's deleted from the system, it's no longer there.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other question, guys? Or we should call it.
So
Yeah,
sorry.
so, what framework did you use here?
You said?
What framework, what workspace, which of the workspace did you use this testing?
Workspace.
Yeah, I just want to be sure. This testing, which did you do it right on the web or it's a framework or a particular
Oh, this
workspace?
is Postman. You just Google Postman and download it too.
Okay, can it also be achieved using another framework?
You have to go and write JavaScript. Yeah, you can Google other tools used for writing API testing, but so far so good. Postman is the best.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Wait, sorry, can we have the link also sent to our WhatsApp group as well?
I'll send it to you next. Send it to you guys.
Please, how about the attendance list or the attendance form?
the link is on the chat.
Okay, Olivia, you wanted to say something?
Yes. So about the delete explanation that you were giving. So we're deleting immediately so that since it's an e-commerce website, so that the system doesn't like deliver twice to the same person.
Come again. I didn't get you.
Okay, so I was just thinking to myself that the reason why we are deleting immediately is because so that the system, since it's an e-commerce website, it doesn't still have it on the database that they haven't yet delivered to the person. So they don't deliver more than once to the customer. Is that it?
Well, I cannot tell you why deleting immediately because we don't have the user story for that API. There are some applications that will say when you raise delete, somebody will need to approve that deletion.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just showing you how that request works.
What should happen?
Yeah,
Okay.
so and what you're expecting is the moment you hit that send button, it should be deleted immediately, and that's what we've achieved that goal.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any contribution, comments?
Yes, I want to say I enjoyed this class today. It's helping me to tie everything about QA tester. I enjoyed it so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Goodness, please, the next class, hope it's not too far from this one, so that you can reinforce this thing.
Okay. Okay, anyways, at this point, I think I should hand over to Ernest. Thank you guys for your contribution and
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you so much, Chijoke.
Bye.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. We enjoyed the class. Thank